Have you ever sat with your family, but felt like you were all a million miles apart? That was my Sunday breakfast. Every single week. A table for 5, but it might as well have been 5 separate islands. My dad, scrolling through work emails. My teenage sister Jade, glued to FaceTime with her boyfriend. And my little brother Marcus, lost in some gaming video on his phone. Me, I was deep diving into a rabbit hole of pigeon conspiracy theories. Don't ask. We were together, but we weren't. The only sound was the clinking of forks and the occasional muffled laugh at something on a screen. Until one Sunday, Mom had enough. She slapped her hand on the table, making the orange juice glasses jump. "That's it," she announced. We all looked up, startled. "We're doing a family challenge right now." "A challenge?" My dad looked at her like she'd just suggested we all join the circus. "A challenge?" he asked. "Like those videos online," Mom said, her eyes gleaming with an idea she definitely cooked up at 2 a.m. watching YouTube. "We," she declared, "are going to have the great pancake flip-off." My sister Jade was not on board. "Mom, I can barely flip a pancake without it folding into a weird pancake taco. You want us to do tricks?" "Exactly." Mom's grin was infectious. "Whoever does the most impressive flip wins. And the losers," she paused for dramatic effect, "have to do the winner's chores for a whole week." Suddenly, she had everyone's undivided attention. Chores. The stakes had just gotten real. 20 minutes later, the kitchen was transformed into an arena. We were gladiators, spatulas in hand. Mom, our self-appointed judge and videographer, set up her phone on a tripod to document this historic moment for future generations. She said. Dad was up first. He approached the stove with this swagger, like he was a celebrity chef in another life. "Watch and learn, kids," he said, giving the pan a confident, almost arrogant shake. The pancake went up, and it kept going up. Time seemed to slow down as we all watched its journey toward the ceiling. Then, splat, it stuck there. A perfect beige UFO. The kitchen exploded. Marcus literally fell on the floor laughing. Jade had tears streaming down her face. Even Mum, trying to be the serious judge, was leaning against the counter, shaking with laughter. Dad just stood there, staring up at his creation. That's not regulation height," he stammered, just as the pancake lost its grip on the ceiling and landed splorkrite on top of his head. I hadn't heard my sister laugh that hard, that genuinely, in years. It wasn't the fake laugh for her friends. It was a real, can't breathe, gut laugh. Next up was Marcus, age 10, brimming with unearned confidence. "Amateurs," he muttered, his voice cracking midword. He announced he was attempting the helicopter, which involves spinning in a circle while flipping. The pancake launched sideways like a frisbee, bounced off the refrigerator, and made a perfect landing in the fruit bowl, right on top of the bananas. Mom, still trying to keep a straight face, announced 9 points for creativity, 2 for execution, and 0 points for health code compliance. Then it was Jade's turn. She was still giggling from Dad's pancake hat moment. She tried a delicate, one-handed flick. Somehow, through a bizarre twist of physics, the pancake flipped straight up and then straight back down onto her own face. The kitchen just lost it. Dad had to sit down. I couldn't breathe. What made it even funnier was Jade's reaction. Instead of getting mad or embarrassed, she just stood there, pancake dripping off her nose, and started laughing too. "I'm delicious," she yelled, which sent us all into another wave of hysteria. Then it was my moment of glory. Or so I thought. I'd been observing, learning from everyone's mistakes. My plan was simple. A nice, controlled, medium-height flip. Safe. Reliable. I gave the pan a gentle toss. The pancake did a perfect, beautiful rotation in the air. It was a thing of beauty. A textbook flip. It was going to land perfectly. And then, our old golden retriever, Biscuit, decided that was the perfect moment to wander into the kitchen. The pancake landed squarely on his head like a floppy beret. He froze, looked at us with the most betrayed expression a dog has ever had, and then started running around the kitchen, trying to shake it off, crashing into chairs, skidding on the tile. The family was gone. Dad was actually crying with laughter. Mom had given up on standing and was just a puddle of giggles on the floor. Jade was rolling, and I was laughing too, at my dog, at myself, at the sheer, beautiful chaos of it all. Finally, it was Mom's turn. We were all still recovering, holding our stomachs, our faces literally hurting from smiling so much. She approached the stove with this theatrical seriousness, cracking her knuckles. "Allow me to show you how it's done," she said. She flipped. The pancake went up in a perfect arc, rotated once, and landed dead center in the pan with a satisfying asterisk. FWAP, asterisk. Silence. We all just stared. "Are we sure she didn't practice this?" Jade whispered. Dad, still wiping tears from his eyes, protested. "That was one successful flip in 40 years of cooking. It doesn't count." "Oh, it counts," Mom said smugly, "and I believe you all owe me a week of shore-free living." We all groaned, but we were all still smiling. We never posted that video anywhere. The footage was just too chaotic, too full of our ugly laughing faces and us screaming over each other. It was ours, and honestly, I'm glad, because what happened after was even better. We started doing it every Sunday. Mom officially named it Family Challenge Day. We tried to build the tallest tower of cards, which ended when Dad sneezed and created a cardboard avalanche. We had a race to solve Rubik's Cubes, which was a total failure, so we just made up our own rules for winning. We even had a cook-a-meal blindfolded challenge. The fire department showed up for that one false alarm, but Marcus still loves telling that story at Thanksgiving. But something more important was happening. We started talking again. Really talking. Jade started eating breakfast with us instead of hiding in her room. Dad stopped checking his emails at the table. Marcus put his phone away without being asked. And me. I started realizing my family was actually hilarious. We had inside jokes again. Remember when Dad ceiling pancaked himself? Remember when Bisca became the unexpected pancake champion? It became our language. Our shorthand for, remember when we were actually having fun together? 6 months later, Jade came home from college for Thanksgiving. I was worried she'd think our weird challenges were lame now, that she'd outgrown our Sunday morning chaos. But the first thing she said when she walked in the door was, "So, what's this week's challenge?" "That's Thanksgiving. We did a speed cook challenge. Everyone had to make a dish in under 30 minutes, with a mystery ingredient. Mom chose candy corn. It went about as well as you'd imagine. As we sat around the table that night, eating our very questionable food, I had this moment of clarity. The challenges were never about winning. They were about giving us an excuse to be ridiculous together, to fail spectacularly, and to laugh at ourselves without any judgment. It was about remembering that being a family isn't always about serious talks or awkward silences. Sometimes it's just about flipping pancakes badly and laughing until your face hurts. Same time next week, Dad asked as we cleaned up the candy corn-infused disaster. "Obviously," Jade said, grinning. "I have an idea involving blindfolds and a piñata." "Absolutely not," Mom said, but she was smiling. "Definitely yes," yelled Marcus. That pancake mark is still on our kitchen ceiling. Mom refuses to clean it off. She says it's a reminder of the day we remembered how to be a family again, one terrible pancake flip at a time. Sometimes the best moments aren't the ones you plan. They're the ones where everything goes completely, hilariously wrong, and you're all there, together, to laugh about it. Thanks for watching.